Hello, everyone. Welcome back to OpenLine. Glad you're with us. Talking about real estate, talking about the housing market in Middle Tennessee. And it's not a secret that it's a very hot market. The question is, kind of where are we going? And if you have some specific questions, our guest, Gabriela Lira, a real estate broker for over a decade in the Nashville area, is here to help you out. So let's go with Mike, who is on the line. Hello, Mike.
Hey, good evening, Ben, and I'm sorry I didn't get your guest, the broker's first name, but hello to her as well. My question is to her. I know somebody who's trying to subdivide some property in a community that is in high demand, near the 12th South area, basically. And what the problem is, there's been a hard time with real estate agents, well, the real estate agents he's dealt with, on getting somebody to come out and survey the property. And that's going to be the first step, surveying the property. If you're going to subdivide your land, if you have enough land to subdivide and keep the house you're living in there still on the property, but subdivide the other half. There seems to be a lack of surveyors around in Nashville. Do you see that in dealing with customers who have similar situations? Also,
yes.
What's the codes and planning process now? Have Metro become more, I guess, user-friendly and less bureaucracy than they have used in the past? And I'll hang up and listen. I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. All right,
Yes.
you heard his question there. Go right ahead.
Yes, great questions. So every service that is around real estate is feeling the strain. They're feeling the strain of the high demand and the low supplies. So initially, we had things like COVID delays, cabinets weren't getting in for builders, windows, there was a lack of getting windows, appliances. My neighbor moved in November and he still doesn't have his refrigerator. So there's been a lot of shortages due to COVID, but what the caller, his question was around surveyors. Yes, surveyors are very behind. The other trade that is also very behind are appraisers. There are just so many homes that need to be surveyed, so many homes that need to be appraised, and not enough surveyors and appraisers to get this done. So they have a backlog. And he was very funny there, asking if there's less bureaucracy in the city. Absolutely not. It's, same. It's gotten even a little bit harder because a lot of city employees have gone to work from home. So codes and they also have such a backlog and so many people wanting to talk to them. So you just have to be patient.
Wow. Okay. And what about subdividing property? I mean, I feel like I am seeing somebody has a big yard and they decide, well, maybe we can put another house over here. Are you seeing that a lot, or what are you seeing?
Sure. Look at what builders are doing, the infill builders. They're going in, they're taking a sizable lot and they are either subdividing it, or if the zoning allows, they're putting multiple properties on that one lot. So we're seeing a lot of that because we have to build for density now, right? We have so many people moving here, so many people wanting homes, needing somewhere to live, needing housing, that we're having to do that.
All right, let's go to Tanya. Hello, Tanya.
Hi, hello.
Go right ahead.
Hi, my question is, I see a property, and I've been watching it like every morning as I'm walking. I'm noticing over the last 90 days, this property has changed hands about 6 times. And I was just wondering if you could speak to that. It's like, it makes you very nervous if you're trying to purchase the property and the property around the house that you particularly want. They're like selling and then someone else is purchasing, they sell it and someone else is purchasing. And I also just wanted to say thank you for making everything so clear. I hope you run for politics one day. All right, I'll hang up.
Wow.
Thanks.
Wow, well, that's a very nice call. All right, she's saying, I mean, it's changed hands 6 times. High turnover on a piece of property. That sounds like her question. What do you think?
Well, that's unusual. I've seen properties turn over maybe twice very quickly, because what seems to happen is you have a flipper, right? You have an investor or a contractor who goes into the house, they make some updates, they buy it, they make some updates, and they put it back on the market quickly. So that might be something that's happening there. 6 times is rather unusual. I have not seen a property change hands 6 times so quickly.
What about renting versus buying? What do you tell people? Kind of what's the situation as far as you're concerned with renting versus buying?
Well, I'm a big proponent for buying because it's a great way to build wealth and to build generational wealth as well. But it needs to be the right time for you to buy. So do you have enough savings? Are you financially sound? You need to talk to a lender, a loan officer to figure out if you can afford to buy, number one. 2, are you going to be here for a while, right? If your job is just bringing you here for 6 months, or maybe you want to move to a different state, perhaps it's not best for you to buy right now unless you want to put that property up for rent at a later time when you leave. So you just have to make sure that purchasing is right for you and that you have the ability to purchase. Rent prices are very high in Nashville right now. I saw an apartment building that actually put their top floor penthouse for auction. Who's going to pay the most rent for this penthouse unit? I thought that was just incredible. The prices that some people are paying for some of these rental properties would cover a mortgage 2 times.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it would cover a mortgage. I guess obviously when you rent, you don't have to repair the roof or put in, a new HVAC, but when you buy, you are building equity. The problem is those barriers that we're talking about for these first-time buyers, as far as just the down payment that might be needed and the bidding wars that are going on. It's probably very difficult right now and frustrating as a first-time home buyer.
Yeah, it can definitely be frustrating as a first-time home buyer, but maybe you make some concessions. This doesn't have to be your forever home. People are now in their home 3 to 5 years. That's very different from previous generations. Our parents were in their homes 15, 20 years. Now that's changed. So you can buy perhaps a smaller home than what you initially expected, maybe even a townhome, and start there. Then in a few years, you build equity, you sell that, you get into the next level home that you want to be in. So your first home does not have to be your forever home. You can use that as a springboard to your next property.
People think prices in Nashville are crazy high, and they are higher than they've been. But I was reading an article that says it's 45, and this would be obvious, 45% lower than what you see in Los Angeles. And so I guess my question is this sustainable? Is this our new normal? I mean, if all these people are moving here, will prices just keep going up, or does it, maybe I ask a version of this, when does this plateau? It just seems to me that this just can't keep going like this. But then you hear other cities and prices are even higher. So that's when I don't know what to think.
Yeah, to your point, this is the new normal. Welcome to the new Nashville. We do have people coming from other cities that are much more expensive, where the cost of living is much higher, and they're not as price sensitive as people who maybe were born and raised in Nashville and are just seeing the prices exploding and becoming so high. I just read the other day that Nashville is still deemed one of the more affordable cities in the country, believe it or not. And so this happens to be our new normal now. And I don't know that prices will continue to go up forever. I definitely think that at some point they will plateau, or at least not go up at the rate in which they've been rising. I don't know when that will be.
Right. And this is happening in other parts of the country, but is it, if you go, is there a part of the country where this is not happening? If you go to the Midwest, I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there, or the Northeast has always been really expensive. Is this happening? I feel like people might be moving toward the warmer weather, moving south. I mean, we've heard that that is happening. Certainly we hear people leaving California coming out here. Is there a part of the country where housing prices aren't this outrageous?
Sure. I am not as familiar with real estate in other parts of the country. I recently went to a conference in Aspen with colleagues of companies from across the country, and there are other markets that are much higher than Nashville. Aspen, for example, I got to tour some $20 and $30 million homes there, which is very rare here. I think I saw a few $10 million homes sell in the greater Nashville area recently, but definitely not the norm here. And then, Raleigh, I had some colleagues from Raleigh who it's still affordable, similar market to Nashville there. So there has to be other places that are probably a little more affordable.
Right. All right, we'll take a break. If you want to call in, any question you have about real estate, there's the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.